Anyway, it's just wonderful to be here, and what a great atmosphere in this building tonight. And a big thank you to Hamish for gathering the forces there. And of course to the Isle of Maui Pipe Band for unleashing some of that amazing Scottish energy. You know, I always I think about the Scottish music as coming from a very deep place, and that's the great thing about traditional music, is that it does that. It allows you to go right back into the soul of things and the source of things, and to kind of find resonances. And when I heard the chant, I knew I was in the right place. Because that's kind of what we're about. We take the fiddle, and by fiddle I mean, well, that's what we do. We journey with the fiddle, this poor innocent little thing here that gets you into all kinds of trouble. You know, it was banned in many countries because it would incite great acts of promiscuity. And I had my eyes closed most of the time there, but I didn't see. I will be watching. This was declared to be the instrument of the devil in Scotland, and the minister on the Isle of Skye burned the fiddles in the second half of the 19th century. Denmark, the Scandinavian countries, they had great bonfires of fiddles because they were causing too much trouble. By the way, are you in a Cayley mood tonight? Are you? Because we are. So if this is the instrument of the devil, I don't know what that is. That's an even bigger one. Some people are kind of not used to seeing a cello on stage in traditional music, folk music, world music, indigenous music circles, whatever you want to call it. And it's quite funny, really, because people look at this combination and think, well, that's a kind of a neat idea. That's a new twist on things. Well, like most new ideas, it isn't. It's as old as the hills, well, just about. The dance band of choice in Scotland for centuries was a fiddle and a cello. And if you look at some of the old paintings from 18th century Scotland, up in the heartland of the Highlands, there was a famous painter called David Allen who used to love to paint dance scenes, people outdoors in village halls, all kinds of situations. And you'd see people louping around in kilts, having a great time. And then you look a bit closer and you see the musicians, and it's almost always a fiddle player and a cello player, and the cello was giving it loudly on bowed bass. And there are eyewitness accounts of that time, people having to leave the ballroom because they couldn't contain themselves from the excitement that was being generated. Unfortunately, after that, cellos were put into captivity. And they were held captive in orchestras all across the Western world for many years. And the poor cellists had to surrender their rhythmic soul at the door and hand it over. Well, the good news is they're coming back. And Natalie's in the leading edge of this whole new movement of cellists that have once again released the cello from its orchestral shackles. And they're roaming the planet freely, and it's very, very scary. So, you know, these people used to walk to dances like the likes of Neil Gow, who was the great doyen of fiddle players in 18th century Scotland. And he and his brother would play for dances, Donald on the cello. And they would sling their fiddle and the cello in a cloth sack over their shoulder and walk to the dance, 10 miles, whatever, and play for the dance, and then who knows where they went after that. But that's some of the energy we want to unleash tonight as we look over about three centuries of material. I hope you weren't in any hurry to